Yeah, if they're delayed, we're good. Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Welcome back to the JMA Podcast. I am your host, John Murray. Today we have a special guest. We've worked with him quite a bit at Rolling Stonerz. You guys might have seen him on our recent stream with SK and OMR, the Quintet 2025. He was the referee in the ring. He also joined us momentarily on commentary. Before we get all into that, let's introduce my co-host to the stage, Jeremy Fairhurst. Jeremy, thank you for being here today.
Yes, sir. What's up, guys? And what's up, John? How you doing today?
Much. We're doing well. Excited for this podcast. I'm already really hyped. We had a really great pre-episode conversation going on. And I don't know, just before we get all back into that, we do have some upcoming events. I want to get through this real quick just because there's only 3 to mention right now. We're looking at Future of Fighting in Louisville, Kentucky, September 26th. That is this weekend, I believe Friday. We were originally supposed to be down there. I don't know if Jeremy's going to still make an appearance, but we won't be able to make it due to the vehicle difficulties. If you guys want to actually help me fund repairs on my vehicle so that we can do more travel, get more coverage in, go swing over to the J Murray Athletics store on jmurrayathletics.com. We have plenty of merch, a lot of different stuff available, from supplements, clothing, shoes, backpacks, you name it, guys. We got everything you need for your fitness needs. Following the Future of Fighting events, we got Rival FC on... Oh, no. Hold on. I'm going out of order here. They're all out of order. Art of Combat, Hartford, Connecticut on October 10th. And then in November, we have Rival FC on November 27th. Jeremy, is that still correct? Has that been moved again, or just want to make sure? You're still muted, bud.
My apologies. What did you say there? Did you say the 22nd or the 27th?
Yes, sir.
Triple check. I will confirm that live. So, Rival FC, November 22nd, 2025. Yep.
All right. Well, you guys heard it here first. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the J Murray Athletics VIP section over on jmurrayathletics.com for $1 a month. Subscribers get 10% discount code to use on all supplements, clothing, and otherwise at the previously mentioned store. Guys, without further ado, let's welcome our guest to the stage. It's been way too long at this point. Manny Gonzalez.
What's going on, guys? Glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, boss.
Thank you.
Man, we've been talking about so much. We're talking about promotions backstage there. We are talking about some of the backstage drama going on. I mean, there's a lot going on in this industry. I think once you kind of work in the back end, I mean, you get exposed to so much shit that you wouldn't think exists in this industry, and it's like, why? But before we get into all...
the back of the house is a scary place sometimes.
It's the scariest. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, especially entertainment. But my man, tell us a little bit about yourself, just so the guests can kind of get a feel for you.
All right. So I am a jiu-jitsu referee. I've been doing that for about 6-7 years right now, in and out of the game. I've been grappling since, I want to say 2009, 2010. Started it, just because I wasn't a good athlete. So most athletes, they're playing football, basketball. I could always shoot a ball, but I could never run, dribble, then shoot. You know, the coordination was never there. So my dad was like, "Hey, man, I'm not gonna keep wasting money on this. You are bad." And I gotta give him some credit for that, because he was always somebody who pushed me, but once he realized it wasn't for me, it wasn't for me. So he would definitely push me towards competing, grappling. He's a big boxing fan, so unfortunately, I'm a big boxing fan because of him. That's kind of how the journey started, and I got to thank my dad for it.
How do you deviate from boxing to jiu-jitsu?
Oh, that's a hard one. They're two completely different sports. You know, jiu-jitsu, you could see some of the craziest scrambles in jiu-jitsu, and it's all based off skill levels. So, you know, if you see a white belt scrambling with a white belt, it kind of looks a little funny, but the higher the belt goes, the more technical you will see things in jiu-jitsu. So the scrambles will be a lot more technical. It won't be just two guys just going at each other. Like, I forgot how my wrestling coach says it, but it's like you're just taking two guys and you're throwing them at each other. So that's definitely something you see with the whites and the blue belts. But comparing it to boxing, you know, in the amateur ranks, you see a lot of talent, a lot of talent. And, you know, usually guys, they start their careers and end their careers as an amateur. Not many guys make that push to pro. And it's not necessarily their fault. You know, I might have to do with some coaching, some like me, some athletic abilities that you're missing. But yeah, like I said, you'll see some differences and you'll see some similarities. But when it comes to boxing, the amateurs to the pros, like they're definitely 1-on-1. Amateurs are really, really talented boxers. You know, I box at Blue Boy Boxing over in Thompson, and I get lit up by amateurs. You know, the pros are kind of nice because they let you work, but amateurs are mean, they're nasty, you know, they're trying to make a name for themselves. So
I was about to
that's
say
a little difference.
They got that dog in them still. They got something to prove.
Definitely.
How'd you make that transition from boxing to or not boxing to jiu-jitsu, but like how'd you make like the transition from combat to reffing and judging? Like was there like a moment where like you're like, this whole competition thing isn't for me, but I love this other angle, or like was it something else?
It's a little bit of both. You know, I would say falling out of love with the game. That's something that definitely happens to a lot of us. I would definitely say picking where you train and just doing some research on some things before you joining a gym. That's definitely important. But my transition definitely happened from just having too many injuries. You know, I love the sport. I love just going to an event and watching just two guys go at it. You know, it takes a lot of it takes a high IQ to do what we do, because it's like chess, but we're playing chess 5 moves ahead. So, you know, for me, I never wanted to leave the game. You know, there's something in me that always wanted to stay within the game. And you know, that guy in the center who's kind of controlling the atmosphere, that's as close as you can get when you can't compete. You know what I mean? That's the best seat in the house. And I'm happy I did it, because it kept me so close with the game. Like I've been doing this for, like I said, almost 7 years now, and the amount of amazing people I've met, from you guys to I've met UFC fighters to UFC coaches to guys who are coaching me now. You know, you meet a bunch of great people in this sport, and I didn't think I could walk away from it just because I was injured. So I'm glad I picked up reffing, and I picked up officiating and inspecting, and just trying to be around athletes more.
So you've probably had a lot of crazy moments. I know you've had a few people yelling at you at Rolling Stonerz.
Of course.
I mean, every so often. What was the best moment as a ref? And what was the craziest moment you've had as a ref?
Let's start with the craziest moment I've ever had. Let's see. Because this could happen to anybody, you know, when you have events like this. But I would say injuries. You know, when you see an injury on the mat, that's probably because it just happens. You know, there's no warning. There's no, hey, this guy's gonna. So when I was working for Naga, I want to say I did a Naga in Johnston, Rhode Island, and you know, I was reffing white belt division, maybe $145, and guy collapsed. The guy collapsed, grabs his knee. You know, he's not really screaming, but he's moaning, rolling around. And when he lets go of his knee, it has shifted. So it's no longer in the center. His whole knee shifted onto his thigh. So when you watch certain, I'm queasy when it comes to injuries too. So when I was able to get down there and try to help him out, not necessarily move him, but calm him down a little bit, and I seen his knee out of place, those injuries aren't things that you can kind of forget. You know, that's definitely something that's still in my mind. So that's for sure the craziest one I've seen. What was sorry, it was a two-part question. What was the second part?
What was the best moment as a ref that you've ever had?
Best moments. You always love a comeback story or something like that. I don't want to do any name drops, but I used to ref. There was this guy who he tore his hamstring in a match that I was reffing. Like I said, the injuries are endless when it comes to these sports, and you know, the look in his eyes, it was like I was never gonna come back. You could tell that he had given up on jiu-jitsu. And like a lot of us, like when we get injured and we try to walk it off, and we're like, man, I can't even walk straight. This guy was down for, I want to say, 2 years, and when he came back, the look on my face to see him, oh man, that was probably the best feeling in the world, because I know the guy and he's such a hard worker. And to have him come back and win his tournament, like win his division, I wanted to run up to the guy and give him a hug. I think I actually did. I can't remember, but that's probably one of the best stories that I have to this day. Just watching a guy completely lose it. He hurts himself. He thinks he's never going to come back. Comes back, wins his division, and gets a belt.
That is that is a great comeback story. All right, so who was that? I mean, just give him a shout out, because that's a great.
Nah, I can't. Oh God, I got certain shout outs I'm gonna give, but nah, he knows who I'm talking. He knows exactly who I'm speaking to. He's gonna message me after he watches this. Good guy for sure.
I hope so. My man, I am gonna be honest with you. We really didn't prepare any questions for this, but I noted, I follow your story, obviously,
Okay.
and I saw you said you have some shit to get off your chest.
Oh man, you actually saw that? No way. No, I'm joking. You definitely saw that because we were talking before the broadcast.
No. So like, open platform, whatever you want to talk about, my man.
I love that you didn't prepare any questions, because you saw my story and you were like, oh, this kid's got some shit.
That wasn't even that. Honestly, dude, like, I mean, you're, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of the bros. Like, I mean, I wasn't gonna drill you.
Yeah, that was literally what he told me. He was like, "You've met him. He's a Rolling Stonerz guy too. It's gonna be a great episode." So yeah, no, yeah, a lot of the conversation seems to go way better like that than if we sit there and try to make a whole script up, and then suddenly we're like, I feel like we're like, I don't know, it's better to have a free platform and everything. So.
I hear you. No, definitely. So, let's see where can we start this in a PG-13 format. So,
oh no, you can go rated R. This can go 18 and up.
We just talk about a sideways knee like 45 seconds ago.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, we good?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
All right. So, like I'm saying, no PG-13. You're cool.
Yeah, no, you're good. If I have to turn it 18 and up, I'm cool with it. I don't give a fuck.
All right. So let's. Where would you want to pick a sport, and we'll start there? You want to just start with jiu-jitsu?
Wherever you want, bro.
Oh yeah.
So the sport of jiu-jitsu is in a funny place right now, as you know, a lot of a lot of guys who've been doing this for, a decade or more, they'll tell you that where jiu-jitsu is today, it's not in the same place as it was 10 years ago or so. And a lot of us are trying to figure out what's changed, what it was to what it is now. And like I was saying to you before we started, I feel like we've got way too many people with their hands in the pot, and they're I don't know, they're just trying to be the face of something when we have 18 different leagues doing the same thing at the same time. Sometimes you'll realize we have 4 kickboxing shows going on in the same place at the same time. Instead of just collabing with each other, they'd rather compete with each other for a year and then be gone, wiped off the face of the earth, because these 2 guys wanted to collab and put things together. So now what we start to see is a boxing standpoint when it comes to putting on shows. I got to get an approval from this guy to fight this guy, instead of all of us just coming together and putting on some good fights. A lot of the people don't want to do that anymore. They just want to fill their pockets up, get as rich as possible, and go to the next sport.
You so mentioned
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I just want to ask a question because, you mentioned that, some of these are fighters, actually signing contracts to these local promotions to, only fight exclusively for them?
Now you're asking the questions. You're asking questions that most people don't talk about. So exclusivity. It's kind of what, and if I get sidetracked, just don't.
No, you're fine.
Pull me back in. So it's kind of like what Dana White's doing with UFC BJJ.
But Dana White makes sense because Dana White is a major promotion. It makes sense for a major promotion with millions of dollars on the line and who's paying the athletes to put someone on an exclusivity contract. It does not make sense for someone who's not paying athletes to then put them on an exclusivity contract and when they could go off and make money.
Or blackballing certain fighters for fighting for another company. You see it a lot. I know guys who I train with who are some of the nastiest fighters in their division, and they can't get a fight. You're telling me this guy who will knock anybody out in 15 seconds or sub them, I could drop names all day, but you've got so many guys who can't get fights right now because of the malarkey and all the stuff that's going on outside of the actual sport, where it's this guy who no longer gets along with this guy, where they used to work together, and now it's screw both of us, I'm going to create, and it's just we got to start working together more often so we can put on these huge fights that everybody wants to see.
No, for sure. I mean, the inner politics, we mentioned some of the back end stuff in some of our discussions prior. The back end stuff really gets in the way of a lot of the progress. But to your point previous, when you mentioned the current state of BJJ, I think we're in the peak of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
We're at the point where, like you mentioned, all these promotions are showing up, all these different things, all these different people are trying different things. You have a lot of the same old copies, but then you have CJI, you have IBJJF, you have ADCCC, and then hold on, there's a few more out there. Obviously,
there's a bunch. There's a bunch of that are actually doing good for the sport. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Well, not even that. I mean, we're seeing there's some stuff like Rolling Stonerz, and High Rollers, which are a separate subsect of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that is doing something different. Right now we're seeing an exploration of what the promotions can look like and what it could be. And this is a healthy place for a sport to be. We've worked a long time for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to be put on the map. Not me, because I've been in the sport, 5 years? But people in general have worked at this for decades to try and get the sport to where it is.
Correct.
We're at a point where there's a lot of promotions and a lot of them are shit. But we're also going to start seeing some people finding ideas that are really unique and might really improve the sport on the local level. We just need to see some really innovative entrepreneurs come out.
Definitely. And like you said, with the sport of BJJ, it's a little hectic right now, but it's starting to get a little bit better. A lot of these leagues that are just cash cows, they're starting to go away slowly because they can't afford to put on these shows. They can't, and it's because they're doing it for the wrong reasons. And so when you do it for the wrong reasons, you're not gonna last long, man. And that's why I'm a big fan of Tom, man. Shout out to Tom. We were talking about Tom before all this started. Tom Kilkenny, man. Shout out to that guy. He's amazing, and shout out to everything he's doing for the sport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We had Tom on the podcast. If anyone wants to go back and rewatch the episode, we did that. He joined us earlier in the season. Tom is the regional director for Gamma, which promotes and not promotes. What's the word I'm looking for?
They're pretty much house. Pretty much like the house of most of the leagues in New York right now.
Yeah, they enforce all the rules for MMA, make sure the blood testing is getting in, make sure it's properly.
The commission.
Make sure there's no lead in the gloves. The good stuff. Make sure the good stuff's not there.
No, yeah. So Tom, like I said, Tom's a pioneer, man. We were on the phone the other day, and he was like, "Hey, man, you got 5 minutes to talk." 35 minutes later, we're talking about next year and the things that are going to be coming next year. And yeah, he's a visionary, man. He's got a vision, and he's gonna, whether you're in his way, to the side of him, behind him, he's gonna get it done.
Nah, absolutely. Have you worked under him at all?
No, I will be this Saturday. I will be doing I'll be doing some inspection. I'll be shadowing some referees. He's got his RFC show, their first fully sanctioned MMA show. It's Blitz 1 MMA, so I'll be in the house for anybody who's gonna see there. I got a resting bitch face. Don't think anything of it. Come say hi.
Man, to be honest with you, no one could tell. You look like one of those silhouettes from like a anonymous. Like you look like you're doing like a witness protection thing right now.
Oh, hold on. There we go. It said silhouette.
You still got the silhouette going. You got some light in that room?
Yeah, I do, but give me 2 seconds. He said you look like you're doing a silhouette challenge. That's a little offensive, buddy. That's fucked up.
You look like the silhouettes in those yards, you drive up.
Yeah. All right, much better. I know. Sorry, you guys couldn't see me.
We want our fans to see your beautiful face, my man.
I know. It's the money maker, right?
He was just gonna be like menacingly like saying all the dark secrets of the industry in the shadows. And just like I thought it was perfect.
See, now I gotta stop. They can see my face. But what were we talking about? Yeah, so our Blitz is this Saturday in Long Island City. Are you guys gonna be there?
I need wheels on my vehicular.
That's right. The JMA vehicle went down. And I gotta say, when you gave me a tour of that last time I saw you, and that thing is solid. That thing is solid.
It was solid until the wheel blew out on the way home.
I jinxed you, didn't I?
No, I didn't.
No, remember?
So I bought that. When I
remember we were talking about that, and you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna show you something," and I was like, "Hey, man, like, just be careful on your way home. Like, I hope nothing happens." I said something along the lines of just drive safe, and you were like,
"Oh,
dude, I just." Yeah. And I'm looking at my story, and I'm like, I jinxed him. I got home before you, and we were in New York. How does that sound? You were maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away. I was a couple hours away.
I was 20 minutes from my house.
Exactly, and I got home before you. I remember I saw that, and I was like, "No way, I'm home," and he's on the road right now.
I'm not gonna lie, the wheel blew out on the van, and I'm in Selkirk. For anyone who knows, I'm going to like Albany, and I'm like, I'm on the road, and I'm like debating it. I'm like, yeah, you think this thing can get home on the rim?
You're wild, man, dude. You're wild.
I
I
deadass
wouldn't put it
tried for like
past.
5
I
minutes.
was just gonna say I wouldn't put it past you to try that.
I'm not even gonna bullshit. And then like when I realized that wasn't gonna work, I was debating honestly sleeping in it on the highway till the morning.
I'm not. That's what I was thinking you did because when you opened it up and you showed me that, I was like, man, the possibilities are endless. He could go and travel and put on and these broadcasts for people anywhere in the States right now with this, and literally you go home and blow a tire out. Oh man, that's funny. Not funny for you, but funny for us.
No, it was very unfortunate, but God has a plan, and I think part of His plan was for me to stay put for him.
God bless. Exactly. He said, "Sit your ass down, Jay." Been doing too much traveling around here. But yeah. So what were we getting at? Some of the dark secrets. You guys good with jiu-jitsu, or you still want to stay on this subject?
I don't know. What's the darkest secret you got for me right now? What's the darkest thing in the industry?
There's a lot of
Yeah.
gatekeeping. I don't even think it's a secret. There's a ton of gatekeeping. Tons and tons of gatekeeping. But what happens is these promotions, they get I don't know, they get fooled by these guys who are supposed to be the best at their stuff, and they deceive these leagues and they put them at the highest, make them their head referees, so to say. And so that guy will gatekeep and neglect certain guys who want to join that team just for shits and giggles. No, like real reason. No, this guy's bad. Because if he's bad, we can work with him. We can make him better. We can, whether it's he's doesn't know where to stand in a match, or the rules, the regulations, penalties, advantages, the point system, whatever it is, we could work with you. It's not the hardest thing in the world. So sometimes these guys, they get put into a position where they get too much power, and like they say, with great power comes great responsibilities. And a lot of these guys, they use the responsibilities in a negative way, and so a guy like me, I was supposed to be here years ago, and when you have guys who gatekeep certain leagues, they will make sure you never even sniff inspection, or get to the backstage, or get to the back of the house, or even get to somebody who could help you get into the back of the house. So I wish I could have been here a lot longer ago, but it is what it is. I'll say some of the worst things we're seeing right now are the wrong people in control, and once we start to switch those seats and have the right people in control, you'll see better shows.
Do you think that's due to like a limited number of commission enforcement agencies, or do you think that's due to like some other like internal issue?
It could be a 50-50 thing, because some commissions just don't allow it. Some commissions, they want to be in control of a lot of things, and they don't put people in charge. They want to be in charge. So sometimes, like Tom, he has a lot of trust in his people. So he's got JP back there, and me and JP were talking a couple days ago, and he was just saying, like, right off the back, I love your energy. I see how fair and solid you are. So I think you're going to be a great part of the team with Gamma. And I think, like I said, I think what they have going on there is gonna turn everything around. We're seeing a lot of negativity and bad shows being put on. I was telling you, I had a guy I trained with. He traveled up to, I'll just say where he went to. I'm not gonna say the actual name of the company he fought for, but he traveled up to Rhode Island, and he put on a great performance. Fought 3 great rounds. And they gave the win to the hometown favorite guy. And so you tell guys like us to travel to come to a show, let's just say in Rhode Island, to fight somebody from Rhode Island. We beat the piss out of the guy, and somehow you guys make it a whatever the scorecard was, it wasn't what it was supposed to be. It should have been 30-27.
like now this would be one thing coming just from a coach or a regular team member, but you professionally do this and regularly do this. So when you see the pattern, like you know the way it should be scored, at least on some level or an idea of it. Yeah, no. Was it anywhere close, or was it
No,
like
it was a one-sided fight, man. And like if you were to like if there was a count, if they were counting strikes, it would have easily been like 200 strikes to 49, something like that. He would throw 4 punch combinations and get returned with a jab or a jab cross, or slip cross, hook, something real similar. But when a guy's throwing that much value in one round, those numbers should mean something at the end of the fight. When you look back and you see the significant strike count, and this guy's doubled your strike count the entire fight, you gotta score that right. You gotta give that fight to the person who actually won that fight, not to the hometown hero.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, I understand giving the hometown hero the opportunity, giving them the opportunity to come in, maybe giving them more opportunities than they should have.
Yeah.
Giving them the win is a whole other level of fucking bullshit.
Oh, absolutely. I just saw somebody get dog walked in MMA on the local scene. Just saw them get completely annihilated, and they were the hometown hero. And they didn't get the win. They gave it to the person who flew in from another state, because they came in, they did their job, and they were professional about everything. They made weight, they sold tickets, they did what they were supposed to do. So how do you give the fight to the hometown hero when you had to pay for somebody to come out of state to come fight one of your best fighters, and they dog walk your best fighter, and everybody's there to see it and witness it? You know what I mean? The commission did the right thing by that athlete who flew in from another state. It dog walked that person. So for me, you're going to see a lot of things like that, but it all boils down to the commission. So shout out to that commission. I don't want to say too much about who it was and who fought, but shout out to that commission, because they got it right. They didn't, the person showed up. They both showed up super professional, they made weight, they sold out the tickets, they put on a show for the fans.
Do you think there's a problem with like promotions settling down in a specific location?
Yeah, sometimes you see that, like you'll see casinos, and the casino-esque, where they don't really move around. It's in the same spot, same location, same, and they do the same shows. Like it's like clockwork sometimes. So I don't tell people to stay away from some leagues like that, or commissions that do things like that. Like they have their own scheduling. They've been doing it for however long they've been doing it. So, they're just comfortable with what they have going on.
But as a promotion, I mean, it's got to be more beneficial to bounce around than sit in the same location, because like we noticed like the hometown hero seems to be a reoccurring theme, right, in this conversation.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Where like they seem to be a favorite, right? But that can only occur if like the promotion only stays in one town, right?
Correct.
If who you promo decide to go to Rhode Island 1 month, and the next 3 months later they go to Massachusetts, and then 3 months later they're in Vermont, I think that's a little bit smarter than like trying to stay in one location. And while that may be harder, it might be harder to market, but on a pay-per-view level, like I figure it'd probably be about the same. And then
I would say so. Yeah.
And just be about the marketing angle at that point. I'm sorry. I'm just
No, but that's a piece of what I've been saying. There's a lot of guys there's too many hands involved in what we're doing today. And guys will say, "Oh, I've heard every idea in the book about leagues. I've heard cash leagues. I've heard, tag team leagues. People have brought in me leagues, and it's like, look, I'm going to create this league. I want to referee, blah, blah, blah." You never hear about the league. I've heard about maybe 17 different leagues that are under development, and then they just get scratched because people they're just doing it for the wrong reasons. And back when I was competing, I didn't know anybody backstage or in the back of the house or any of the referees, or let's say like I would go to like a Grappler's Quest or something like that back in the days, or you know, everybody was so green. Well, I think back then it was more of a I don't think there was as many teens and kids competing as there are now. So I think that's probably where the shift is with things. There are a lot more teens and kids competing, and not as many adults as competing. Where back in the day it was kind of a more mature scene. It was definitely a mature scene back in the day.
What do you think the next big thing for promotions is going to be?
Ooh. Well, what are we talking about? 'Cause I got some news. We're talking grappling, we're talking stand-up, striking, all of it together.
All right, you got some CHQ news. Just spill the beans.
I don't have any CHQ news, but I did have a meeting last week, and a couple investors told me that they're creating a new Muay Thai league. So a new Muay Thai league is coming to the East Coast start of 2026. They're crunching some numbers and getting some things down. So if you're a fan of kickboxing, if you're a fan of Muay Thai,
where's that gonna be at?
I can't say too much. He asked me not to say too much, but he asked, like, I asked him if I could talk about it a little bit.
Well, how are people gonna know what state to look for it in?
Tri-state. I'm sorry.
Well, that could mean Arizona, California,
no, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York. So
there we go.
They'll be trying to compete with what's going on right now. You know, some of the investors showed me what they have going on and what they want to do. You know, as long as you have enough. What was that?
Do they know where to go for streaming?
They do now. They do not.
they know where to get their press conference.
For sure. I always name drop for good. Yeah, of course. So when he told me, I had to ask him. I said, "You guys got media presence?" That was my first question.
Man after my own heart.
I got you, buddy. Don't worry. You were giving your girl kisses before this. Should have been blowing me kisses, man.
Yo, keep buttering me up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no. So yes. Big news for Muay Thai lovers, kickboxing lovers. New league coming to Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. We're gonna be doing some big things.
That's gonna be fire, man. There's a lot, like you said though. There's a lot of promotions. I mean, there's HC. What's it? Damn, I was just talking to another promotion. Just put them on our calendar. They got another event coming up. I'm pulling it up now. I know where the hell that went.
For striking or for BJJ?
BJJ. I know J Rome's recently was featured on them, and they did an event, I think, this weekend. Let's see. HCS 29. I did not put in their actual name. I'm opening up the Instagram account. Let's see what comes up. Hammer Challenge Series.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Jackhammer?
Mission only. Yep. I know they have an event coming up in Pennsylvania, and they have another one coming up in it'll come to me, Jersey.
But that's what you were saying. Jackhammer's smart. They like to bounce around. They're not just in one location. You know, they'll be in Pennsylvania, then they'll be in Long Island, then they'll come back up to New Jersey. They don't like doing things in the same spot every time. And every time I've seen our guys go up from my gym, they get the fair shake. You know, they don't give it to the hometown hero. They always get a fair shake up there.
I got a crazy question. One of the most important things I think in this whole industry, in any industry, I think, is networking. You know, building up relationships, building up people, and just finding ways to work with people. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I have a difficult time making friends. I have a difficult time with people. A lot of times I in fact hate people. But
hey, listen, it comes with the territory.
we have to learn to love people in this industry. And we have to learn to respect people. But what is the most important or most valuable thing in networking in this industry to you?
Oh wow, that's a great question. I would say hospitality. That's probably one of the biggest ones I get to see, because a lot of the time we travel. So if we spend 2 hours of traveling for maybe 3 hours of work, the hospitality should be there. I came out of my way to help you put on a show, and I'm not gonna say it like with my chest out, but without the help of me, I don't know you'd be able to put on such a good show right now. So having hospitality, and I'll give you a recent example. I came up to New York and I refereed a show, and you were the media presence there, and the hospitality was amazing. Hospitality was amazing. That anything you need, let me know. If you think we should be changing anything about the rule formats, let me know. We want to make sure you're safe and you're secure the entire time. So if there's anything that makes you unsafe or unsecure, let me know. So, just if you're a league and you're listening to this, like, just have some hospitality when it comes to your workers, because it doesn't even have to be your referees. It could be your inspectors, your front door people, your back door people. You got your announcers, you got your media presence. There's a lot of floating things going around when there's a show happening. So, just try to be hospitable.
For sure. I think I know exactly what you're talking about there. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to him. That was Fat Cat Jiu-Jitsu, and
Yes.
One More Roll, and hold on, Studio Kami, the Quintet 2025, where we work together. I'm only giving them a shout out because they are awesome. They're great people. They gave me a chance on last minute. And then not only that, they also have an event coming up. I can't believe in November. Guys, go check out Fat Cat Jiu-Jitsu on Instagram. You guys can find that.
So they have an event coming up. I want to say it's December 19th. Okay, they have their triplet. So they got their 10 teams. They're gonna do a women's challenge, a triplet.
Maybe up in the air, depending on. I think they were having issues finding all female teams. So
it's tough. It's tough. But if you're looking to compete, and you want to win some money, they are throwing $3,000 to the winner of that.
It's a good pocket too.
Listen, I could use $3K, so you want to throw me a wig, I'll throw you a wig. No?
You give Jeremy one. We got this.
Throw Jeremy a little bob cut wig.
Look, for $3K, I'm gonna do some wild things. I'm already $3,000. I could get an AK with $3K, a nice one.
This guy's gonna keep the $3K to himself.
Look, I can show up in New York.
Listen, with the arms that kid is carrying, he can have it.
I bet. Jeremy's wild.
My face or my name. I can show up. We can do it, and I can dip right back.
You guys are wild, but no, you hit it on the head. There's a lot of things going on in the industry, and a lot of shows going on. Do you guys, what's the show you guys got coming up? Anything big?
I'm still waiting to confirm it, but we might be at a Hammer Challenge Series 29. That's why it's in my calendar currently. I'm still waiting to hear a confirmation back. Just back, actually just bouncing back real quick to the conversation though. One of the things that we really look for when we work with different promotions was respect. I don't care here, no. I don't mind hearing no. I don't mind hearing your work's subpar, or someone criticizing me, or anything like that. I appreciate the feedback.
Sure.
What I don't appreciate is when people give me shit and say stupid shit to me, out of disrespect because they don't like my work. And that's fine. Like, you don't have to like everything we do, but like, don't just shit on me, because then I'm not gonna fuck with you. And then like, if we, when we have that momentum and we're getting that momentum, you're SOL. Fuck you.
Oh, absolutely. It's like you said. There's different things that come with it, man. I feel like it's how you were raised in this industry. So when I run into guys, like, I've worked shows, and owner of the show won't even look at me. He won't come up to me, won't talk to me, won't shake. And you could feel that from a distance. I've worked shows where guys will reach out to me and say, "Hey, we need you for this, that, and the third." I show up, I sit down, I place my things in the corner, and I just kind of get ready for the show. I meditate a little bit just to calm the nerves, because we all get nervous when we go out there, whether it's to compete or to officiate. The butterflies are always there. I always tell people. So
And
I always try to stay. What was that?
I was just gonna say, you should feel at home. Like the host should be commenting and talk to you, and at least introducing and being like, "Hey, if you need anything, I'm here. Come talk to me." Letting them know who you are and what's up. Maybe it's
I've worked for leagues that they bring me acai bowls. They bring me pizza and Chick-fil-A salads, and I've worked for companies that they really treat you right and they want you to come back, and that's kind of what we need more in the industry today. Because when you go work for a show, like, hey, all we can give you is $50, and we need you to set up, shut down, and be here for 12 hours. You're like, huh? I was just at a league, and not only did they pay for my hotel, they paid for my flight, they paid for my meals. So as a professional, like, you start to see the differences in the leagues and who's going to be here for a year versus 5.
I ain't gonna lie though, like if you're a startup, like your first, second, third show, I don't mind helping. I don't mind coming in, helping you with setup. I don't mind helping with breakdown. I don't mind jumping in where you need me.
For sure.
But you best be putting in that fucking energy and that respect.
Just
Because
respect me. Exactly.
If I don't see that work energy, I ain't putting no energy into you. And if I don't have that respect, you best believe I'm fucking trashing you. You guys probably seen it on the Instagram. I fucking trashed a promotion out from Las Vegas. The promoter was messaging us the day before asking to get on the podcast. I told him we're booked up for the year. He's like, "You're too booked up for us." I was like, "Who the fuck are you?"
My schedule, man. I'm sorry.
I reached out to you about streaming services because I seen you on Instagram, and I know marketing, and you're supposed to reach out to as many people as you can. Don't take it personally that like, oh, he noticed us. Like, yes, I noticed you through Instagram, but it wasn't much more than that. And like, I'm not I have so many promotions on my calendar right now. Like, you're a blip on a massive radar. Understand that. And then you're telling me you're a secret society. You're ran by a secret society. And like, that's the shit that got Jeremy.
That's beautiful.
And then you're telling me people pay you to come in and cover you. No.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not. That's where you've completely turned me off from any idea of working with you. And now good luck to you guys.
The ironic part was, like, previously when he like said, like, it sounds like it's gonna cost money. I'm like, okay, maybe this guy doesn't have a lot of money. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm willing to do the press conference for free if you're willing to put it through our channel, because like I get the views, I can turn that into subscribers and potentially.
Of course, yeah. You rub my back, I rub yours.
Yeah. So like, but then he reacted when I asked him what the date was. And I'm like, and from that point on, I was like, okay, $100 now on top of that. Like whatever was the original estimate.
Yeah.
$100 plus.
You get taxed because you're rude as shit.
every rude comment you make ever after that is now an additional $100.
It's like a swear jar. I'm gonna throw $100, and every time you feel the need to be rude to me for no reason.
Yeah. Nah.
And like you said, that's how you know who will be around for 1 to 2 years versus who will be around for decades. And like I said, there's some shows that I used to work that aren't even around anymore. And it tells you where their mindset was when they created this league. A lot of them were just, how can I get rich quick? And then you'll meet guys who they don't even want anything from you. They just want to host safe jiu-jitsu shows.
Yeah. It's crazy because when we first started JMA Athletics, it started as a personal blog for me, right? And
I remember.
But it evolved into something more, right? Like I realized at a certain point, like no one gives a fuck about me, but like I care. Like I care about the sport. Yeah. I care about the people in it. I care about the athletes. Let's make it about them.
When I first met you, were you doing interviews or anything like that, or you're just in the vlog?
I was just doing the travel stuff and like a few sports articles here and there.
I remember. So you had no vlogs out yet. You were just doing blogs.
I think, what's crazy is I think going back to it, Rolling Stonerz might have been our first coverage. Rolling
God.
No, Rolling. Honestly, no. I'm gonna give Fabio a serious shout out right now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Rolling Stonerz, Fabio. Hold on. I don't know Mario's last name, and forgive me, Mario, if you're watching this. They were a lot of firsts for us. It was my first submission only tournament. It was my first ever coverage. It was my first ever live streaming. If it wasn't for Fabio, I don't think I would have branched out like I did. And it wasn't like just as simple as like I don't even know how to explain it. Like it just came about. Like it was one day like I was like, okay, I'm gonna do coverage on this. And then one day I saw he didn't have a streamer, and I was like, you want us to stream it? And we just streamed it, and it was shit. I ain't gonna fucking bullshit.
It was blended well. Yeah.
But we improved. Each time he said, he was like, "It's cool, dude. Don't worry about it." I was like, "Really?"
That's how he is. He's fair. He's solid. You know, he's somebody who gives back. A lot of people don't even know. During the first couple of Rolling Stonerz, like you could be a white belt, win your match, walk away with an ounce of weed. Unheard of. Unheard of. And it was unheard of that guys were giving away an ounce of weed for winning a sub-only match. So you only have to win one match, and you go home with an ounce of weed. And so when he told me that, I was like, oh, I'm game. I'm game. If I could get a match and have a special guest referee and then come back and start and finish my referee duties, I would love to win an ounce. You know, we all know how much cannabis is nowadays. So imagine how much an ounce is versus winning that ounce. You know, he's doing some right things over there. And like you said, shout out to him. He's doing it again. He's got he's cut out a section in CHQ, and he's got his Rolling Stonerz popping up. And you know how they get down over there. They have two absolute divisions going on. He's got a blue belt absolute division and a purple belt absolute division. So if you're looking to get a little squirrely, reach out to Fabio. He's got a show coming up.
I just wanted to chime in.
Go ahead,
coming into JMA, like Rolling Stonerz, you expressed to me right off the bat that was one of the first promotions you got involved with, how important of a relationship that was. And when you were talking about all the firsts for you, looking back at it too, that was my first time going to New York, first time going to Connecticut, first time working with you guys on a stream. Honestly, dude, I think that might have been my first straight up jiu-jitsu tournament. I don't know even, definitely shout out to those guys because, and of course the empanadas. There's that.
Yeah, dude. Every empanadas.
I bought them out of the last ones that they had the last time I was there, and it was great. So
I'm sure you pissed off a lot of people because sometimes that's what people show up for, his empanadas.
I waited until the very end because I was not fit to be that guy.
Good guy. You're a good guy.
He came in behind me, and I was like, oh, shit. All right, turn behind
you. By the way, guys, I'm buying all these empanadas, so scram. Jeremy, you're a wild man. I'll tell you that. You're a wild man.
Shit.
That was the like you said. Your shout out to Fab. He's doing a good thing. He's got a great organization. You know, we need more guys like him. He's not doing it just for himself. You know, he's a people person. And sometimes when I see him out in public, I'm like, hey, what's up, Fab? And then he's got like 50 people around him, like the governor of the town. But he's involved in so much in the community when it comes to either cannabis or jiu-jitsu, both of them combined. He's pulled in all directions.
I honestly like watching the growth of the Rolling Stonerz has been like phenomenal. Like it started as a Who You tournament, and I mean, now it's like I feel like everyone, most people, at least in the East Coast, some people in New York, you know, depending on how far west you go, at least have heard of it at this point, which is incredible.
and it's going to continue to grow if he continues to do the same thing. It's like I the first time I ref 4 or 5, he was nervous. He didn't know how the show was gonna go. He didn't know if anybody was gonna show up, and he still put on the show. He still went out there and did his thing, and then continued to do it. So if you're gonna take some notes from some people on how to put on a show and how to continue to give back to the community while doing that, you guys could definitely take a page out of Fob's notebook. Yeah.
All right, my man. Listen, I got some trivia for you. Do you like trivia?
Trivia, yeah. Let's hear it. I'm probably not the best. What category are we talking about? You talk about trivia.
Oh, I'm mixing it up. I'm looking for your third question. What's your worst first subject?
What's my worst first subject?
I'm kidding.
Oh, I was gonna say women. No, I'm joking.
All right, well, I might have one in here. No. No, I had some questions that we set up for the last podcast. We had our first female guest, Rachel Yang. Guys, if you want to go watch that episode, make sure you go check it out.
Shout out to Rachel.
That was a really nice episode.
Actually, you know what? I found one.
Okay.
For you. Jeremy, you haven't had a lot of airtime today. You want to ask some questions today?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Woo! Jeremy.
All right. Oh, right. I'm on production today, so. Oh, so unfortunately, RTD producers, his computer is down. So, all right.
Yeah. It's all right.
You're all good. I got it. Let's go.
All right. Question number 1. Which individual was not a member of the committee which drafted the initial MMA Unified Rules? A. Matt Hughes. B. Dana White. C. Randy Couture.
Man, I feel like this is an easy question, but when I see the names, it throws me off. I don't want to be a casual and say this, but I want to go with B. Dana White.
Oh. All right.
Let's go, baby. I seen that question coming a mile away,
Yeah, okay. All right, so we're rolling for 3. All right.
Yeah, Dana White, I see what you guys did with that one. They tried to slip me up with that. All right.
What is the original name of New York City? New Amsterdam, Netherlands, or Port Town?
Too many Rolling Stoner events, man. Let's go with it's gotta be. We'll go with B. New Netherlands. Let's see where that goes. 2 for 2 with B's. Where's man? All
right. You're 1 for 1 so far. Yeah.
Bringing it back.
Last one.
Who was the first female to be named a champion in the UFC? A. Misha Tate. B. Chris Cyborg. Or C. Ronda Rousey.
I'm gonna go with C. Ronda Rousey.
All right. Sean, hit the button. Yeah. All right. Ronda Rousey.
I definitely didn't get that one wrong.
Honestly, that one always throws me off because I remembered her. No, she just went through and after she it was Nunes that went through and beat all the other champions before her.
Well, what breaks it down is UFC, so you got to break down why they put Ronda Rousey as some people put her in the Mount Rushmore of UFC because of that stat you just showed right there.
I remember when I first got into the UFC, like a kid, going into the sports restaurants and stuff with my mom and everything. I remember watching Holly Holm knock her out. That was when I remember that fight, and I remember I don't know if it was the first one or the second one because I was too young to pay attention. But Lawler versus McDonald. I remember.
The unfortunate thing of that whole situation is her biggest downfall was not losing. Her biggest downfall was quitting after losing.
And then going to the WWE.
Well, she said, I think
I'm not
that she
falter for chasing money, but I will falter for quitting the whole UFC thing after 2 losses.
Well, did she not say that she was having like headaches and stuff like that? I mean, obviously, everyone. I mean, yeah, I know amateurs are already having that kind of issues, but I want to say I read an article somewhat recently that she said that was one of the reasons she hadn't returned was because the brain damage that she
Something
could
of
have.
that sort. Yeah, yeah. You got to remember, she's an Olympic athlete, so she's been competing probably since she's been a teenager. So, those things all the way up to your 30s, competing at a high level, it takes a
Oh
toll on
no.
the body.
According to a quick Google search with AI, Ronda Rousey quit MMA due to severe history of concussions and related neurological issues that made it unsafe for her to compete at the highest levels. So I guess that's fair. No, I take back what I said then.
Yeah, she's a judo black belt. She's an Olympian. So she's been through some things. So I'm sure that's pretty taxing on the body nonetheless. Getting slammed on your freaking head every time you step on the mats is definitely not healthy for you.
Oh, for sure, probably shaken up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, easily.
Is there a UFC that comes to mind instantly for you, Manny? Like, well, when you just think of like iconic fights or one of the favorite fights you've ever seen?
In the UFC, one of my favorite fights I've ever seen. Oh man, probably John Jones Gustafsson fight. That was probably any John Jones honestly fight. Him and DC going back and forth. That was some wars. I'm kind of as a young guy, I was a hater of a lot of the greats. So like I wasn't a big fan of DC, but now that he's retired, that guy's probably the best wrestler in UFC history. Like he's up there with the champions and being able to blend wrestling and striking together. He was definitely he should be on the Mount Rushmore up there, in my opinion, because look at all the guys that came from it. Habib, Islam, a lot of great champions came from American Kickboxing Academy, and I think and a lot of state champion wrestlers also came from Daniel Cormier. So I think he doesn't get a lot of respect just because he was a wrestler, and some people just don't like the sport of wrestling. But it's probably one of the hardest things today. If you could wrestle, you could take over this world.
Do you think hold on, Khabib or DC has had more impact on wrestling in the UFC?
That's a hard one. That's really, really, really good. I still think I'm going to give the nudge to DC just because his career was long. He definitely, they fought the same level, I would say. So like if you were going to compare Conor McGregor to somebody that DC fought, you could always say like John Jones or Stipe or someone of those names. But I think I still give the nod to DC because he learned how to blend his striking with his wrestling. He's an Olympian. Those guys, they live, they breathe, they eat, they sleep wrestling. So to tell this guy to put some boxing and some kickboxing behind what he does, and he's the best at, not everyone's gonna be the best at that or even be good at that. So look at Islam. He's damn near perfected his stand-up game and blended it with his ground game. And you got to give credit to, like I said, both his coaches, Habib and DC, and Javier over there. I think it's Javier Mendez, one of his coaches. So, he's got a good team behind him.
Do you think? I know this is we're at this point we're just kind of dragging, but do you think John Jones is as good as everyone makes him out to be, or is that because like there's a lot of the fucking steroids going on there, there's the eye pokes and the cheating, like there's a lot to talk about when we talk about Jones. Like, is it like it's difficult because you want to call him a GOAT, but then you look at his background and you're like, fuck. Is he?
Correct. There's a lot of understanding factors that comes with John Jones. I met John Jones. He's probably one of the nicest guys, or just pretended to be, but he was probably one of the nicest guys that I've met in the sport. And I met some guys that you would think are nice because how they speak to people on TV versus how they are with people in person. Like John Jones gets so much credibility, like and it's deserved because of what comes to light when you look up his name. But he gets a lot of scrutiny for what he does outside the sport, and it makes you think that he's like a jackass or he's uneducated or he's just not a smart guy. And when you meet him, you're like, holy cow! Not only is this guy humble, he's nice. He's he doesn't just ramble about things that he doesn't know about. He's a well-educated guy, and
Well, it's interesting you say that because I never got the impression that he was a jackass. Like a lot of his background suggests like an individual with like troubled mental health and troubled
for sure.
insecurities. But like watching the Joe Rogan interview with him, he said something that I honestly not resonated, but like stuck with me.
What was that?
He gets fucked up before his fights, he said, because if something goes wrong, he wants to have something to default on.
For sure.
But
I've heard of
as
that.
a result, he's created a bad habit for himself that consistently self-destructs him. So he
Right.
acknowledges that he's created this habit. He has enough perspective to acknowledge the problems, but not enough security or control to address them.
Well,
Which I think
the problem is how old was John Jones when he won the title? I mean, I know you have your computer in front of you, or if anybody knows that.
I mean, you go ahead, shoot, tell us.
He was probably 21. You know,
Right.
is maybe
Still young.
a little bit older than that, but he was a kid. He was a kid. So when you give a kid basically the keys to Las Vegas, what do you think is going to happen? What from where is he from? Is he from? Does he just live in Albuquerque, or is he
Syracuse,
from
New York.
Albuquerque?
He's from Syracuse, New York.
That's true. That's true. He's close to
He's from less
us.
than a half an hour from hour and a half from me.
And listen, if you've done nothing but New York your entire life,
Well, first of all, for anyone who doesn't know, Syracuse, Utica area in New York State is not the best area. It doesn't have a lot of job opportunities. There's not a lot of travel opportunities. You can drive to the Capital District in an hour and a half, but like you're
Yeah.
assuming that this person has a car out there.
assuming.
Yeah, well, again, the opportunities are really shit out there.
Yeah,
Like,
For
I
sure.
have some friends out there that do moderately well, but like it's very difficult to make a successful life out in the Midwest.
Exactly. And
The
so,
Midwest,
you know,
like the
he's
Western.
he's a brother of what, 3 or 4, and you know, he's probably like the black sheep in his family because all his brothers are NFL superstars. So for him, I'm sure the pressure was there to be something. You know, at a young age to be something. Well, my brothers are on TV every Sunday night. You know, it was probably a lot of pressure that he had to deal with, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but he was young. He was a young champion, and just like any young champion, like I don't know many young champions that are still in the game today. You know, they say this is a young man's sport, but you always got to fear the old man in the young man's sport. So guys
True.
like him and Glover, and I'm sure I can name a bunch of guys, but him and
We
Glover, my
about it,
two
but-
favorite old guys in the UFC.
Jones was in this for over a decade now.
Oh, easily.
Like most people do not fight for that long. Like we just talked about Rousey, she was in it for like 5 years.
And people think she was in it longer than Jones, but that's just like I said, the casual fan would think that. Think about how many hand changeovers John Jones has seen in his life. From like, you know, people like think about it. ESPN, FS1 Network. Now they're gonna probably be moving into Amazon. He's probably seen the change in the sport so much, and like you said, like if anybody knows any dark things that's happened in the sport, it's probably that guy.
That's true.
It's definitely that guy.
it's
guy. No jokes to his career, but he's definitely seen the side of the business where it's like, whoa, this can get a little sketchy over here.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think that a lot of MMA gets a negative rap, but unfortunately, like we've talked about a lot of negative stuff in the MMA industry, but I think
Correct.
there's a lot of positives too. I see
Oh,
we've seen a lot of redemption stories. We've seen a lot
yes.
of people overcome those insecurities through the cage. Um, you know, I can't tell you how many life-changing stories we've watched covering MMA. I'm thinking back to this guy from Padillo from Mongoose MMA. We were talking with his coach after his fights. He did a fuck.
Frank or Miguel?
I don't remember. I think I don't. It was through Mongoose's page, but we were
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about potential podcast guests, and he was, talking about Padillo, who was at Elite Fighting, and this guy lost over 300 pounds.
Oh,
He
yes, yes,
went into the
yes.
cage. He lost his first one, but then he came back for another one. Won that with phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
You're talking about
Absolutely.
Joshua
Yeah.
Padilla. Joshua Padilla. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm real familiar. He actually is a coach now over at Savage Ronin in Connecticut. He's coaching now.
But we watched his this turnaround with this individual, and I can't tell you, um, the feeling is just like as someone who's covering these events and seeing this growth in an individual. It's an incredible feeling.
It's different. It's different, man. So like I'll give you another example. Like a buddy of mine, Joey. He trains at Rockland, Gracie up there, and when I first met him, it was at Rolling Stonerz, and he had just gotten his purple belt. So we were both fairly green in the sport at this time. So he was a fresh purple belt. I was fresh in the referee game. So we ended up hitting it off pretty quickly. He's a really nice guy. But now I refereed one of his matches, I want to say a couple months ago, and he's a black belt. Those are some of the stories that I love to see. Like you said, when I see Fob start his Rolling Stonerz to where it is today, or I see a white belt at their first tournament, and then a couple years down the line, they're a brown belt, or vice versa, a black belt. It's definitely it's humbling nonetheless to see people stick with it. I told you that's probably one of the best feelings as a referee, either watching a league or a promotion advance, or watching the kids grow up and advance in the ranking system.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's all a great feeling, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's all of it. I'm just thinking. Going through all these different athletes that we've seen at this point in my head.
You want to go over your match where I met you?
No.
Did you lose that match, Jay?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, come on. That's why you don't want to talk about it. No, you had two matches that day. I think you went 1-1 that day. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes,
No,
you
I,
won.
I went
You
0-0. I got my ass kicked by Tony Gatto, and then I got my ass kicked by crazy MMA guy in the cage prior. You know
No,
who?
you beat Tony once, and then he beat you. I remember this day, this match.
No,
Hey,
no, I've never beat Tony.
well, shout out to Tony for fucking you up. Damn, I didn't. I thought you beat Tony once at least.
I beat Ivan.
Alonso?
Yes, that was my one win at Rolling Stonerz. I beat him by guillotine.
That's actually a good fight. He's got an MMA. He's got his MMA debut coming up. I want to say October 4th at Reality Fighting. So shout out to Ivan. Rooting for you.
he's
Good
selling
kid.
tickets, guys. So if you go
Yeah,
watch
he's selling tickets. He's
Yes,
not sold out.
his Instagram is in the link of his podcast. Go over there, and you guys can go buy his tickets and support him. I know we're giving
Ivan's one of the true grapplers in this sport. Like he's a nice guy. He's caring. He works with the special needs.
He's
Ivan's
passionate.
definitely just Ivan's just one of those guys that you would never think he's an MMA fighter if he can do anything so violent, because the way he talks to you versus the way he is in person, you're like, have you been messaging me this whole time? Because the guy talking to me in person is completely like, well, he's manners throughout the
He's too nice.
Oh, that's what I tell. But have you seen him compete? He goes from being a nice guy to just the killer mindset instinct. Ah, man, I tell him all the time. It's probably the funniest thing in the world watching him grapple.
It's
because
funny.
he smiles, he's happy, he's go lucky, everybody's good, everybody's all right, and then the referee looks at him and he goes, "Are you okay?" And Ivan just, it's the best. It's the best. He's probably one of the funniest grapplers to referee. I love reffing Ivan. He's a character for sure.
He is. But you asked about my match. So the first match we had, so I fought against that Constantino guy, the one of the twins or the brothers, the ones that started a fight at the first Cops versus Stoners.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know if Fabio wanted me to mention that.
I did think so, so I put my head down.
It's free publicity for them. I mean, like, I don't think they've been there
Police
since.
over there beating us up. No, I'm joking.
They did win the first one. I think they won the last one.
I know,
No.
they did. The damn cops, they beat us. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I'm gonna shit on the blue line real quick because I'm not a supporter of police. I try to be like him, but the last event we personally reached out to a couple different departments, and I'm gonna say this publicly and on air. I got the fucking shittiest fucking responses, and from some of them were from my own teammates. And I'm gonna say this: I don't appreciate the disrespect when I fucking don't like police as a whole profession. I think most of them are irresponsible, unaccountable fucking children. And that being said, when I ask you to come to a charity event that is meant to throw money at you
guys.
for your profession, when I, as a baseline, am very negative towards police, I don't appreciate the negative fucking responses. I'm not even gonna bother listing them, but I don't appreciate the fucking negative responses because
I mean, hospitality. Sometimes it's just necessary.
Yeah, well, when someone's going out of their way to try and be supportive of you and your profession when they're not particularly a fan, giving the person a negative response does not improve their disposition towards your profession.
Not at all.
And when it comes from multiple people, it sets a baseline of a perspective of you. And that goes for any industry and any profession you're in. If someone's coming to you with something genuinely that they care about and you give them some negative fucking shit, they're gonna like you back.
Is it moving forward? No longer.
I'm sorry, I had to go on that rant.
No, yeah, I felt like you need to get that one off your chest.
Well, because I talked to Fabio and I pushed him to do the Rolling Stonerz initially. I was like, this is a great idea. This is a great way
I remember I was part of that conversation. You were saying that he's got to keep this up. You got to keep doing this. You got to do another one. I remember that, yeah.
I mean, fucking Waterbury. Do you remember when the cop in Waterbury was in the middle of traffic smacking cars when he wasn't giving proper road directions, and then he was running up to the cars and he was fucking punching them and shit. It was like, God damn you, and you motherfuckers don't need education.
Waterbury is it's a Wild West, man. I don't advise anyone to come to Waterbury just for shits and giggles. If you gotta come to Waterbury, do what you gotta do and get the hell out of here.
I'm sorry, without going on to the police rant even more, but like I could show you 5 to 10 different police videos from that fucking town, and I don't live there.
Oh yeah, and the worst part is they send these cops in who don't know how to talk to people, and they send them in with an agenda because we all know why. And so when you start seeing these cops policing, like you said, you start to see the things you just kind of explained, and it's just sad. It's sad, and that's why I work. I come straight home. I don't do anything. I don't even give these guys an excuse to look at me because I know he's disgusted anytime he looks at me. So I'm disgusted. You're disgusted. Let's not look at each other. Call it even.
You know what's fucking crazy about this? So like, keeping on the rant though, like the blue line, right? So I'm part of Freemasonry. I'm part of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Both are arguably some form of a brotherhood, right?
Correct.
I have a brother in Lodge who was recently expelled. And if this gets back to the Grand Lodge and they have a beef with me discussing this, I really don't give a fuck because I'm disgusted by it.
No beef with y'all. I'm safe over here.
No. Like I'm disgusted by this situation because like there are members who are police and retired police, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're
of course that happens.
And in the same thing in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And one of the things you see is that cops can't leave the blue line at the door. Now, Freemasonry, you swear certain obligations to behave in a certain conduct and manner as a man, right?
I've heard, yes.
And part of that, means leaving certain other things at the door.
Yes.
Right? This brotherhood, you take care of your brothers. Like, if your brother's family needs help, you jump up and you help, like, within your length of your ability. That's kind of one of those things. Now, we had a brother who was assaulted by a cop, and he responded accordingly. And the cop arrested him. And long story short, it was proven, there was video evidence that he responded accordingly. But because there were cops in the fraternity, the cops said, "Oh, we don't want him a part of us. Oh, blue line, blah, 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 blah." So the guy got kicked out.
Of the lodge?
Yeah. So he's full on, what should have been a suspension, ended up with a full ban.
How does that make you feel? Because now, eventually, something you could do.
Yes, because, like, as someone who's a police police reform advocate, I'm not a defund police. I'm not any of that. I'm watching this and I'm going, now, motherfuckers, we supposed to take care of each other.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when it's me?
That was my question. So,
and that's the thing. Is like, now when I'm rolling with cops at the gym, like, I could leave it at the door.
Yeah,
but if you can't leave it at the door, I'm not going to.
Gets a little fussy after that. Yeah, for sure. And anytime when I was in high school, because that's kind of where I started jiu-jitsu. I want to say I was a sophomore in high school. I used to roll with the state trooper. His name was Anthony. And me and Anthony had this great relationship. Like, he was probably like he's an Italian man. So I'm just giving you a clear cut of how he is. Me and Anthony's relationship was probably one of the best I've ever seen. He was probably in his 40s. But he would talk to me like I was on the street with him, working with him, like we were on patrol together. He actually cared about the people who were going to the gym, how's school, how were things going. And then once we hit the mat, we're fucking each other up. I'm in his ear talking shit to him. He'll sweep me. He's doing the same thing, talking shit to me. And sometimes you'll meet officers and you'll meet people who work the line. And they can, like you said, they can leave it at the door. Like, I'd call him a pig. I'd call him the weirdest things just to see if it would just to see if it would piss him off while we're rolling. And he would laugh at it. He loved it. He didn't take offense to it. He was, he once he swept me though, he'd go, "Oh, who's the pig now?" He would get into little conversations like that. But yeah, no, shout out to Anthony. I still see him from time to time. He's a family man now, so shout out to him and his family.
Nah, the cops are people too, though. I mean, don't let my rant deceive anyone. Like, despite my issues with the system, it's like, they're fucking people.
I had some encounters like you've had, but like you said, you could feel the vibration, you could feel energies from a mile away. So that's why sometimes it's just best for me to stay out of public, go home, hang out with my psycho dog. I just got a husky. She turned 1. Drives me insane. She's a psycho.
Gone through the training yet?
She's doing good, For a 1-year-old, everybody keeps telling me how good of a dog I have, and I don't see it. Everyone's like, "Your dog is so well behaved," and I'm like, "Are you out of your fucking mind?" She eats everything and if I have a lighter sitting around, it's gonna pop it.
We got a husky. It's got nothing but energy. It's like it's like getting a kid with ADHD.
The last husky I had, I was like 2 years old, so I have vague memories of him. I don't remember him being this much of a psychopath, to be honest. And I can't go anywhere. I can't. That's for sure. She's got to jump in the car with me, And anytime I get like a delivery to the house, she's at the door scaring the living shit out of the delivery person.
We're gonna see her at the next Rolling Stonerz.
Listen, anytime I spark up, she's busts through my door, jumps on the bed, and sits at my feet. So I know she's a fan of cannabis. I don't smoke alone anymore now because of her. She's by my side. Oh man, I'll send you pictures after this. Like, I could be by myself and she'll hear my grinder going off. And I hear her coming up the steps. And she just busts in the door and looks at me. And it's like, Is it time for a session?
Drunk.
Like, I'm like, dude, this is a human. Her human characteristic traits are unfathomable. Like I've never had a dog like this. Like the dog has a personality. The dog it eats when you eat. It wants to sleep when you sleep. Otherwise, it's attached to you. And I love her. She's I'll go John Wick on somebody for her. That's for sure. That's damn right for sure. Don't touch my dog. Don't touch.
Where can people find the pictures of the dog?
Oh yeah, just go to my Instagram, Manny TGIF. Like, thank God it's Friday, but it's thank God I'm fly. She's got her own section of pictures, and she's a big part of my life now. I want to bring her to some shows. She's well behaved enough and trained enough to come to a show and just sit down and watch. But she's a people lover. She hates other dogs, but that's why I think she's human, because when she's around humans, the nicest dog in the world. But if she's around another dog, oh, she's gonna go ape shit. She's gonna eat that dog, or at least try to eat it. But when it comes to humans, she loves people. So I definitely want to get her. I want to get her out in public soon. Get her around other dogs. That's just the trainer in me. I got her simple commands. She doesn't just bust out the front door anymore and terrorize the neighborhood. She sits at the door. She waits for me to give her commands. She's definitely a smart little pup.
All right, my man. Oh, hopefully people can go check you out on Instagram. Go follow you. This lovely, cute little dog you got.
Yeah. Let me shout out a few dates I got coming up. So if anybody's competing, they could definitely come see me. I got them written down here. You probably talked about a few of these, but so I've got RFC Blitz MMA 1 coming up. That's September 27th. You guys from my gym will be fighting on that card, so I'll just be on inspection duties. So that's going to be a good one. October 18th, we got the Warriors Cup / K Series collab. That's going to be a big one. So if you're going to be around, come pop out and check that out. My boy Billy Vigil, that's my boy over there. He's got a top level show coming up, Top Level Pro 21. That's November 22nd. He's got some things in the works coming out, so shout out to him. And then, like you said, Fat Cat Jiu-Jitsu got their triplet going on December 19th. $3K to the team that wins that match. So shout out to all those guys. Shout out to Tom. Shout out to you guys at JMA Podcast. Thanks for having me.
Hey man, it's been a blessing having you. Obviously we'll probably bring you back on for another season.
Absolutely.
Shit.
Sure.
We haven't done an hour and a half in a fucking minute, man.
It's crazy. I checked that. I checked that for a reason, because I wanted this to be quality. I wanted, and there's so much more stuff I could talk to you about. But like you said, we can come back and we can pick this up. We can do another hour and a half. I don't care.
Listen,
I like
man,
talking to you guys.
I'd love to continue this and keep going, but
He's like, my girl's upstairs. I gotta eat.
You said it for me. You already said it. You already covered it.
I read you. I know you, Jay. I know you. Don't worry. And Jeremy's staring at his rig. He's getting ready to hit that dab any second we cut.
I'm gonna take a second and try to catch up on a couple things, but
you guys should have seen Jeremy before we started. I was like, yeah, where are you going? Jeremy's like, I gotta hit this real quick.
Shit. Definitely one of the best podcast episodes we've had, man. An hour and a half. Oh, I appreciate it for real. It's always nice for him to come out and chat. And especially having someone's common ground, everything of Rolling Stonerz and all that. I get to hear about a couple new promotions I hadn't heard about. I know I stayed pretty quiet for a lot of this episode. It's because you guys you had your flow, you were going, and I didn't want to interrupt. So thank both of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jeremy.
All right, guys, this has been episode 222 with Manny Gonzalez. Till next time, stay blessed. JMA Podcast. Peace.